Okay, hi, I'm Jack from Metal Acoustics. I'm joined by Bast.
Hello.
So how are you guys doing?
Very well, thanks. Very well.
That's good to hear. How was the journey down to Colchester?
Pretty painless, pretty pleasant. It was a nice sunny day, so it was a nice day for a drive, I suppose.
So are you looking forward to it tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Just listen to Yachtnar do their sound check and containment. Everything sounded good. I look forward to it.
This is your first trip to Colchester. When you play a new territory, is there a sense that you have to kind of step up your game to a new audience, so to speak?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we kind of know half of these guys already, so
okay.
it's, I'm sure there's a few familiar faces. It's not too far from London, I guess, so I'm sure we know Simon and the guys from Three Thrones and stuff, so I imagine they're going to be around. And
so I always enjoy playing to like new people, fresh faces. So
yeah, I guess you don't know how they're going to react, so it's a bit of a, you just expect a mixed bag. You don't sort of expect many people to kind of be into it or to know it even, or to have heard it, so just kind of do our thing and just hope people enjoy it.
So you're supporting Yachtnar, their release show. What do you like about this band?
Well, I think in a certain sense they're kind of, got a similar sound to us. They're kind of obviously black metal, but there's a kind of very post-metal tinge there as well, which I think we kind of possess as well. So I think it's quite a nice pairing.
a sucker for some Blast and some D beats. So
Yeah, and that too. We try and sneak them in occasionally, but.
This show tonight is actually a release show for their new album Burn and Bury. Have you heard it yet?
No, I haven't listened to it. We posted it online. We had to stream it and buy it, but we're hoping we can pick up like a CD and stuff for the way home and give it a spin.
Well, I've heard it and it's awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
There's other bands of alliance such After Burning Water, Chestburst and Containment. Have you heard about these bands before or not?
We've played with After Burning Water a few times.
just a couple of years ago, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've got a gig with them next Saturday as well in Cardiff. We've heard them, they're great. Played with them a few times. Haven't heard of the other two guys, but Chestburst is pretty much the best band name I've ever heard.
They're very sci-fi related grindcore, so they're really cool.
Yeah,
Alien.
I researched them on the internet. It's like a 2-piece, isn't it? I think
3-piece, I think.
3-piece.
No bass.
But yeah, that sort of scratchy grindcore stuff.
It's nice to play with some more kind of like hardcore and grindcore. So we've been like London stuff, so a lot of just straight up doom.
Yeah, doom seems to conquer London at the moment, and it's kind of got a real sort of DIY aesthetic, and the setup's kind of quite, just two monitors on the floor, no mic taps or anything. It's just straight up, just what you see is what you hear. So it's kind of like.
I think also because we've got quite a varied sound, we can kind of fit in these different lineups, different sort of genres.
That's cool. So your sound, as you said, is a mixture of black metal and like progressive doom with some post and sludge elements. How do you go about creating this sound in the studio?
Well, we just kind of come up with a few initial riffs. I mean, mainly we talk about an idea for like when we did Spectres, we spoke about the concept and like a storyline, what we kind of wanted to express orally, and then we just come up with a few riffs and then we just jam them out, and so they all start coming together and piecing together. We don't kind of, I suppose, consciously say we want to have equal amounts of this, that, and the other. I think it's very kind of naturally what we enjoy, and it just turns out the way it is.
Also, what bands influence you, or what else bands and otherwise influence you?
It's always a hard question because obviously it's we've been metalheads since we were kind of like 11 years old, so it's kind of a year's worth. I mean, usually I suppose we sort of talk about bands that I think people compare us to, and generally when they compare us to people, it's most likely an influence. Obviously like a lot of black metal, like Winter Filleth, Woden's Throne, and kind of UK like Fen and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of like post metal from America, like Neurosis and ISIS and all that sort of stuff, and then of course like Sabbath and all your kind of standard like doom stuff, a bit I Hate God and Wizard and just kind of everything really.
Okay, so last year you released your debut album Spectres on Black Bow Records. Are you pleased with how well it was received?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Couldn't actually, still kind of buzzing from it really. Like off the back of one album, we've been to Roadburn, got an 18-day tour, European tour coming up with Pallbearer, and I had no idea it would have turned out so well. The album came out well over a year ago now, and we're still pushing it, and people are still enjoying it. So
yeah, I mean for me it's still weird to just meet people who've heard it. Like it's still just an odd thing.
Well, it's crazy. Like I was in Barcelona just on a holiday, and like just bumped into someone who knew us. It was crazy. Same with when I was in Paris. Some guy just when I told him I was in Bast, he ran across the pub, came back with his battle jacket with a little Bast pin on it, and it's like, man, that's fucking awesome, yeah.
Yeah, it's still weird to just think, it's not the same kind of 4 people who were watching us in Kingston when we started, it's weird that strangers know it. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
It must be a good feeling though.
yes, it's a great feeling.
definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's kind of like, okay.
Must be quite surreal then, mustn't it? Like people running up to you and asking to take photos of you and getting stuff signed and stuff. It must be quite
Yeah, the
weird.
signing thing.
Yeah, it's still a bit
happens
weird
fairly
for me,
often
isn't
when
it?
people want you to sign the album.
I got the
thing.
worst signature as well. It looks like a piece of shit. So
Yeah, you kind of think you're just ruining it. It's like, why do you want to scribble on it?
come on, it's got beautiful artwork.
Just screwing it up with a scribble. Doesn't mean anything. But yeah, it's very nice. It's obviously we kind of appreciate it. So.
It's cool. Pallbearer Records is run by John Davies of Conan. What's it been like signed to the label of a band that you are influenced by and have toured with in the past?
Oh, well, John's great. We're kind of good friends. Our relationship's really good. It's really casual. I think there's the kind of thing we can kind of really like about it, and we chat all the time, and it's all pretty easy. If we need something done or if he wants us to do something, it's all casual. Just over Facebook. There's no weird contracts. There's no kind of no one's locked into anything. It's kind of like that. That's been a sort of pleasant thing, really.
That's cool. Chris Fielding mastered the album, if that's correct. What was
yeah, you recorded it.
you recorded it as well. What was it like working with him on the album?
That was great because he was pretty much who we've been waiting to record with.
I mean,
for
he's produced some
ages.
of our favourite albums, like Agnes, Latitudes, and
Yeah, we had to wait for about
Loads,
6
man.
months to get in the studio with him, but it was well worth it. We didn't
worth
really want
the
to do it with
wait.
anyone else. So yeah, that was an absolute pleasure, and obviously he was a really nice guy, and we got along really well. So perfect. We wouldn't want to work with anyone else.
That's cool. What gear did you use on the album, instrument-wise, amp-wise and such?
So I would have been using my bass I've got now, the EGC, but that didn't arrive. And then my bass actually broke in the studio.
Oh, nice.
So I ended up using Phil from Conan's bass, which is like a first act Delgado or something. It was owned by Jeff Matz from High on Fire.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're
Giant strings.
Yeah, Conan tuned pretty low. I think it was 180 gauge, the bottom string. So we got some kind of black metal-y, alternate picking, some fucking workout on that. But yeah, and that with I think you went through sort of about 4 different heads.
Yeah, we set up two 4x12 green cabs, and then through that we used a Matamp GTL, a Sun Model T, a PB5150, and my own Marshall JCM 2000. So and just a variation of those things, and that sounded awesome. Well, in my opinion. So.
Okay, you said in an interview, I think it was with Echoes and Dust, that Spectres is about a young man in distant antiquity venturing into a cave as part of a coming-of-age shamanic ritual. Why did you apply this concept to the album?
What's that?
At the time, we were just trying to figure out how to string kind of different styles of music together in a kind of coherent way. And at the time, I'd just been reading a book that was about this kind of subject matter, so it kind of seemed to touch on had the right flavour for the kind of things that we were bringing in, I guess.
Yeah, I think the kind of underlying message of it is kind of a universal one, so it's nice to take that out of context and put it in something that's a bit more, interesting.
Cinematic almost.
Yeah, cinematic, shamanistic rituals, and old caves and cave paintings and stuff. It's just quite a nice, fun little subject matter to, tackle what we wanted to say.
So this is material that interested you throughout your life, so to speak. So parts of your life.
Yeah, I think.
So I mean, there's kind of ways that we could pull in a bit of occult imagery and stuff as well, but it's also kind of just quite a gnarly, fun subject, right?
Yeah. And you brought me that book that was all about that sort of stuff as well a few years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, Graham Hancock, Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind or something.
And I think it's called Supernatural.
Yeah, that was the song. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
No,
So yeah, that was all about caves and that sort of thing. So that's interesting.
Awesome. Outside the Circles of Time is my favourite song on the album. What's that song about?
I guess I don't know, we kind of that is the kind of, I guess, the climax of this guy's little descent into this cave, where he kind of, I guess, it's the best way of putting it.
Well, I think it was kind of it's if it's a man looking for answers, and it's kind of the sense of realisation. So you kind of go through that stage at first. It's very calm, and it's sort of almost like a conversation between a man and spirits, and then as it gets sort of progressively sort of more aggressive, it's kind of this I think it's really supposed to sort of represent kind of his escape, like running out of a cave, you know, and kind of like, you know, being angry with these kind of answers that sort of bestowed upon him.
Or
So
kind of like not necessarily receiving the kind of answers that he initially sought, almost like I don't know, kind of be careful what you wish for kind of vibe, you know.
Okay.
But not necessarily attaining what you were kind of expecting, or things maybe being a little more simpler than you initially thought, that kind of thing.
Okay, will these concepts carry on to the next album, or will you work with something different?
Yeah, we're sort of working on a new sort of subject matter at the moment, I guess.
yeah, we want to approach the record in much the same way. So we want to have an overarching concept again,
Okay.
but it will be, you know, different subject matter and about completely different things. So they'll connect spiritually, but you know, it's not like a sequel or anything like that.
Okay, well, also another interview, you said you're going to start writing. You've started writing the new album, or just a few ideas. Do you have any rough idea when it will come out, or?
Oh, absolutely no idea about that. We've got one song that's pretty much at the point of completion, which we're happy with, which took a long time. So yeah, that's just the beginning, and obviously we've got to get sort of 4 or 5 more until the album's kind of feels like we've, you know, done what we wanted to achieve.
So you're not working to a timetable then?
No, absolutely not. No, it's done when it's done.
Well, as you mentioned, you played Roadburn earlier this month. How was it to play such a prestigious festival?
Oh, it was an absolute honour. Like, just so many amazing bands, so well organised, absolutely amazing environment and you know, atmosphere. It's like no other festival I've ever been to. I don't know if you've been yourself,
No, I
but
haven't.
I've been there as a patron, and it's just incredible vibe, incredible bands. And it was just a really real honour just to even be asked, you know, let alone play. I mean, a great slot that we had and playing on, like, you know, nice big stage and everything. And yeah, we would have played in, you know, back of a car there if we were asked to, you know. So.
It still blows my mind, like we clashed with Anathema, so saying that.
Yeah, it was a weird
That's
thing to
just
say
crazy,
to yourself.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
people are like, what time are you on? You're like, oh yeah, well we're playing into Anathema's set. It's like, never ever thought you'd say that.
So what bands did you see at the festival, if you got a chance to watch a few other bands?
Oh yeah, we went on the Wednesday. We were playing on the Sunday, so we went
Okay.
early and just stayed for the whole thing. So we caught, I think, between us, pretty much everything, I guess.
yeah,
I mean, all
kind
3
of-
of us were out and about, and
Yeah.
4 of us were out and about, you know, seeing everything. I mean, for me, personal highlights were Solstice played a soundtrack to a film. I can't remember what it's called in Icelandic.
Flight of the Raven.
Yeah.
Flight of the Raven,
Oh, really?
and that was absolutely spectacular. That was just really blew my mind. Russian Circles are incredible.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah.
Botanists are great.
yeah.
KO Dot were a really nice
Downfall
surprise.
Gaia.
Faust as well.
Oh, Earthfest, yeah.
Colchester.
And obviously, yeah, I mean, we caught like the headliners like Anathema and all those kind of things. And
Did you see Bong Ripper there at all?
yeah, we
did,
shared a
yeah,
dressing
yeah.
room with Bong Ripper.
Really? What was it like meeting them?
They're really nice guys, actually. Yeah, really sound. And
Yeah, really kind of like humble, kind of quiet guys. And we just kind of sat around with them, you know, just shoot shit and just really friendly. And then you watch them play this, you know, the main stage, and you make this absolute fucking racket. And
huge
it
in that room as
just
well.
really doesn't kind of pair their personalities with this monstrous noise. But yeah, they're really nice and really good fun.
Okay, also, like Yotnar, you're playing Incineration Fest. What are you looking forward to about this festival?
Oranzi Pazuzu, I think.
Yeah, there's a band we played with
Yeah.
last year in Paris called Rancy Pazuzu, and they absolutely blew our faces off and
Yeah.
blew our minds. So we just can't wait to play with them again. And obviously there's loads of other bands, our friends Yatnar and Shining, Impaled Nazarene, Alcest, you know, loads of stuff that we're looking forward to. Hopefully we can catch. I mean,
Yeah.
don't know what time we're playing yet, or you know who we're
I think
clashing
it's a
with.
similar setup to Desert Fest, isn't it? With the stages.
Yeah, I think we're playing on the Underworld. I know that much, but I don't know what time. I imagine it'll be pretty early. But
Okay.
so hopefully we can just get it out of the way and then just go and have a great day.
Party.
As you mentioned earlier, you've got a tour with Pallbearer coming up in June. What do you like about Pallbearer as a band?
Well, I think, I mean, the doom band is just like intensely catchy. I don't know any doom records I've heard in a long while where you kind of could really sort of like hum the riffs and sort of just walking down the street. It's like it's all really catchy and really nice, and obviously the vocals are stunning and just really well written. I think some of the song structures maybe are quite sort of what we go for, that more progressive linear song style rather than this kind of repetitive. Obviously a lot of doom bands, a trope of the genre is just sitting on one riff and just kind of going over it and over it and over and build it slowly, and they don't really kind of tend to do that, which I think is why we kind of feel sort of spiritually connected to them musically, I think.
Okay, how is playing Europe different to the UK?
More people turn up.
More beer.
More beer, yeah.
Awesome beer. Yeah.
Really hospitable.
Yeah, very
so
hospitable.
far from our experience. Yeah, I mean we haven't played too many places there yet, but from what our friends have told us and from what the small experience we had, like really hospitable. You know, it's basically free beer as much as you can drink and cook you nice meals, like get you nice like places to stay, and the crowds are incredible. You know, everyone comes to the shows like packed, everyone's buying the merch and just
Cool.
singing along, and yeah, it's really good receptions. I mean, England's great, of course, but I think the people who tend to come to shows in UK but kind of real dedicated, and it's the same faces you always see. I think they've got a bit more of a casual attitude towards gig going in Europe.
Okay, and finally, what else can we expect from the rest of the year post Pallbearer from that tour? You're playing Bloodstock as well?
We're doing Bloodstock, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing
I don't
Bloodstock.
think we've got much else lined up.
We're
So
going to try and focus on
I
more
think,
writing
yeah.
this year, I think.
we might,
Yeah, we'll have toured Spectres for 2 years, so I think it's about time we kind of put a lid on the gigging and just get down to some serious writing, just lock ourselves in a room and just go at it and see what happens. I'm sure we always give in. We've said that so many times that we're going to stop gigging, and you get some offers and then you're just like, right, okay, cool, let's do it. So yeah, hopefully we can not get distracted and we can concentrate on writing for a while.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you out on stage.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for talking
Cheers.
to us.
No problem.
Cheers.